Hi, I'm Andre Faust. Yesterday I went down to St. John to visit the Reversing Falls Rapids. Some people call it rapids, others call it the falls. I guess it's a matter of preference. Technically, if you're looking at it at one side of the river, then it is a fall. If you look at the center of it, it's a rapid. So it can be used either way. But what I tried to do was get my drone out and get some really good footage of the rapids. However, they were just starting. They were at the 1/8 beginning, so they weren't overly aggressive. Not like it would have been when it would have hit peak low tide, but that would have been about 4 hours later from when I was there. And anyway, I had to be back here in Fredericton. But boys, something I did forget about. Like, I couldn't get the drone where I wanted it simply because the seagulls were very interested into it. I forgot that this time here is the mating season and breeding for the seagulls, and there's 3 islands that they tend to put their nest in. So when they were seeing the drone, of course they were thinking that it was, you know, some type of invasion of some kind. So I tried on the falls, and I couldn't get more than 60 feet above myself, and then they started circling the drone, and I knew I couldn't go out completely over the rapids because they would attack and I wouldn't be able to bring the drone back. Same as trying to go up in between the islands. I couldn't do that because as soon as I positioned myself, they'd start circulating the drone. Then I tried to get some shoots of the zip line, which is an activity that can be done. It's a tourist activity that can be done at Falls View. They came. They got set up towards the end of when the jet boat ended there, because that's where the jet boat was located was at Falls View. Of course, now there's a blue pavilion in place of the jet boat, and we never know, it may come back. Anyway, I'm going to go on and show the footage. I didn't get the results that I wanted to, but you'll get a feel of what the Reversing Falls Rapids are all about. So on with the clip. Okay, I'm here at Falls View Park, and I'm just doing my liftoff, and as you can see in the distance is the Reversing Falls. It's just starting. It's in the first 1/8 of it. In about 4 hours from when this was taken, it would have been dead low, which would have been incredibly aggressive, a lot more than what this video can capture. And then the Bay of Fundy, and what caused that is that the Bay of Fundy has dropped lower than the St. John River. After dead low, it will go back up, and then we'll have high tide, and the current will be reversing. It'll be going the other way. Now, what you're seeing right here is the stream from the island, and you can see in that particular spot it is aggressive. Now, I've driven a jet boat through that for over a period for 18 years under all conditions, and I can tell you it never gets old. The rush is always there, and maybe there will be a future. Now, you're saying, well, why aren't you going right over the falls? One of the things that I did forget is that right now it is the mating seasons for the seagull, and as soon as I tried to get any kind of elevation or altitude, the gulls started to get very interested in the drone. So I didn't take the chance and risk of losing the drone to a gull. This is what's referred to as a side channel, and it's a very popular spot for advanced kayakers to come down through. So I'm doing a little reverse there to try to get a better picture. I would have loved to have gone right over dead center, but like I say, those seagulls didn't allow for that. Now right here, what we're looking at here, when the Reversing Falls jet boat was riding, this is where the wharf was located. This is the point of departure and arrival. And of course, the business was there for 19 years, and I was with them for 18. So I've got some kind of connection to Falls View Park. You know, I can't say anything bad about it. You know, so in this particular area that I'm just panning during the cruise ship, this is where a lot of the peddlers used to come to sell their goods. But before the peddlers came, they used to be the real craftsmen that used to spend hours on on their crafts. And anyway, once the peddlers come in with their dollar store stuff, they couldn't compete with it. So in the end, what happened is that the city put a licensing fee, which was relatively quite high. So the craftspeople once again had a shot of being able to sell their products to the cruise ship people. The jet boat ride was very popular for the cruise ships. Now you can see, you know, water is kind of moving, and so I'm kind of giving these different angles, and I'm repeating because I'm trying to catch some, you know, some abnormalities that might take place, and it's definitely known for abnormalities. Now, if you notice from the beginning of the video just to now, it is getting more aggressive out there. You notice it, you know, usually in 10-minute increments. The eye notices it. Now, right coming off that point, there's a little whirlpool that's going to start to develop there. It kind of comes and goes. It's nothing serious. It's not like the whirlpools down by the bridge. If I would have had more time, I would have went and right where Split Rock is at, which is located under the reverse and fall bridges, but time didn't permit for me to do that. You know, so this was, like I say, I'm really kind of disappointed because I would have loved to have took the drone right between those islands, you know, to really give an experience with the camera pointing down, but the Gulls just wouldn't let it happen. And a point of interest, those islands are protected islands. Because of the nesting there, you cannot go on those islands. There are bad repercussions if you go on the islands, assuming that the seagulls don't beat the tar out of you first. See that little spot right there? You see the little whirlpool there? Cute little guy there. Yeah, I had a dog of mine take the swim out there, old Leon Trutsky, my chocolate lab. But he was smart enough to work the currents. Us human would have just panicked and drowned in that spot. So yes, I'm doing a little bit of redundancy because, again, like I said, I'm trying to find, you know, that sweet spot, that point of interest, and being kind of landlocked. Now I've moved up top the hill, thinking that I could get some better shots and of the zip line, because this is what I was trying to focus on too. And by God, as soon as I got to the height of the scaffold for the zip line, what came around again? Those darn seagulls. I mean, they just weren't giving me a break. You know, and you know, they're coming in above the drone, you know, 4 or 5 feet. So I mean, you know, they were eyeballing, they were assessing the, you know, the opponent, the enemy, what they might have had to attack. So anyway, I had to be conservative and you know, to protect the drone and not tantalize the gulls. I mean, you know, part of this too in drone flying is not only safety but also respecting, you know, the habitat of the animal life that exists there. This is a shot of an old friend of mine who stays there. Has been there forever. Ever since I started, I think that summer that I started is when he moved in there, and he basically rebuilt that. He was a young fella then. Now he's getting up there in his 70s and 80s. The house to the left of that actually is a bee storage. The Milo brothers were very much into bees and producing the honey and getting it out to the market. So all these little side businesses that, you know, that exist. I mean, I could go into the history of Fallsview Park, but that wouldn't be. That's the office to the zip line, and there's the scaffold. And I'm going to try to, you know, I've tried to go up, and once, like I say, once I've got any height to it, the gulls just wouldn't, you know, leave me alone. So that pretty well wraps up this section on the reversing falls and the zip line. So till next time, keep those propellers to the sky and fly safe. And till then, hang right in there.